Watching sports this morning. Thank you for being with us. Have you told a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend that the show is going on? It is going on, and we're continuing in Japan, in Tokyo, where in 21 days' time, the Olympics will finally begin. The torch will be there, the Olympic torch, and it's already lit. It's there, 21 days to go, and as a matter of fact, athletes have begun to arrive from around the world in Japan. And also, as a matter of fact, some of them are from Australia, arriving in Tokyo as early as today, and Ghana as well. Our own African athletes in Ghana are there. Argentina as well are arriving in Tokyo today. Ireland and Germany started arriving from yesterday. So they're taking it very seriously as far as getting there ahead of time is concerned. Now, here's the thing. All the athletes, one of the requirements because of the pandemic is that they're required to take 2 COVID-19 tests during the 4-day period of their departure for Tokyo 2020. That is before they get there. And another test upon arrival at the airport in Japan. Now, we all know what happened. The pandemic struck. The Olympics were delayed for a year, and but still scheduled to open in 3 weeks' time. All things considered, that things go according to plan. In the studio with me is Tolulokwe Atobatele, sports journalist and analyst. And, well, the first thing that jumps out at me is the fact that they have to take COVID-19 tests before they leave. And already there's been a lot of pressure as far as the organization of the Olympics is concerned. How do you think this will affect the athletes mentally, knowing that there's this challenge that has never happened before?
Looking at it, initially the Olympics, of course, is supposed to have been, of course, had the last year, but if not for the pandemic, that made it, of course, mandatory, to be postponed, to this year. So, and of course, we just have to live, by what comes around every day. So I think for me, they have no choice. And going to Olympics, you must have, I've been prepared, for years, because it comes around every year, every 4 years. So, but you don't wait, till 2-3 months to the Olympics before you start our preparations. So, it requires you, of course, being healthy. So mentally, you have to be sound, psychologically, physically, everything. So, you have to be sound and upright. So before you can say you want to compete at the biggest sporting fiesta in the world at the Olympics.
In this particular case, do you think the athletes face a particularly psychological challenge as far as this?
No. It's not going to affect them psychologically because these athletes don't prepare themselves. So they have they have the Olympics body in their respective countries. So we will have been able to channel a way for this athlete to be.
Sorry to interrupt you. That's the Olympic torch we're looking at. Isn't that the Olympic torch?
Of course, it is.
That's the Olympic torch, and it's a big symbol of unity around the world. The Olympic Games, obviously, a unifying factor for athletes from all over the globe, and as it's being lit, and it was supposed to be, passed around the countries and all of that, but because of the pandemic and what have you, but we know that we certainly hope that that spirit of competition will not be dampened by the events that happened around the world. Austin, I posed to you the same question I did to Tolulokwe. Do you think there is any psychological impact that having to take COVID-19 tests beforehand will have on the players, on the athletes and the sportsmen?
Of course, it's really limited. I disagree with Tolu on this one because 90% of sporting, performance is achieved mentally, So, and with COVID-19, it has made everyone mega careful. And if things just want to get bad for a team, just 1 or 2 persons just need to test positive, and that will, bring dampen the spirit, But these are the times, and COVID-19 has been with us for quite some time now. So these athletes are professionals. They understand the things they need to do to stay safe. But then again, how careful can one be, So psychologically, they're telling themselves, look, you need to be careful, you need to, observe your social distancing, you cannot neglect safety guidelines. And when you have all of these things in your head, sometimes how careful can you be? Someone eventually picks up this virus, and then it just, causes some distraction in the camp. But with performance, let's see when the action begins, and then there's something at stake for athletes to go out there to perform. Maybe that will, make them get focused 100%. But I totally agree with you, Olumide, that there's a mental drift here because of COVID-19, because every day, even when these games begin, they will be reminding athletes of the need to stay safe, practice social distancing, you need to sanitize, you need to wash your hands and all of that. So you need to keep some, capacity in your brain to always have that going. And yeah, that's some level of psychological work right there.
It's a special thing to be an Olympian. And for Olympians of Nigerian extraction, it's an extra special thing. And for Hamid Adio, who is a Nigerian sprinter from way back 1980, the Summer Olympics, he has something to say about the coming event.
I've always said that the Olympic Games, to me, is the greatest human spectacle. It is a momentous gathering of the very best in the world of sports from all over the world. I think I would consider myself to be double lucky. Why do I say so? Because I've been opportuned, to attend the Olympic Games as an athlete and as a sports journalist. One, as an athlete in 1980, where I captained the Nigerian team. You cannot quantify, the feelings. Is it the camaraderie, the exchange of friendliness, the togetherness, the bonding of the athletes from different parts of the world? As an athlete in the Olympic Games, I'll be able to see and experience the joy of victory and the agony of defeat. And at the end of it all, either you win or you lose, you are all champions, because you are the very best the world can offer. As a sports journalist, I've been opportune to cover 7 Olympic Games for both NTA, the Nigerian Television Authority, and the African Union, that is AU. And with that experience, one was exposed to the very best in technology in the practice of my trade as a sports journalist. So you cannot quantify, you can't quantify what the Olympic Games is. That's why I said, in a nutshell, it is the greatest human spectacle ever.
Did you hear him say the joy of victory and the agony of defeat? Sounds like a promo. I don't recall where I heard it, but he says it, and that's quite true. We're going to turn our attention now to the Nigeria Professional Football League. If I can have Austin back on now. Akwa United are now top of the table after their victory, and it was quite a thing to behold. Austin, walk us through the Nigeria Professional Football League and what's happening now, and what that victory means for Akwa United and Kano Pillars coming after them, and MFMFC and all the other teams.
Olumide, I told you yesterday that it's either a win or a win for Akwa United, because they understand that mission, particularly that Kano Pillars lost at home to MFM on March the 30th. They needed to do what they had to do against Nasarawa United. Before that match, Nasarawa United, they were second on the log. And if they had won in Uyo yesterday, they would have gone top of the table. So Akwa United, they've opened a 4-point lead at the top of the table now. We have just about 8 matches to end the season. So now they can start thinking about winning the league title. Beating Nasarawa United 2-1, 2 players who haven't scored a goal this season for Aqua United actually got on the scorer sheet, one of them, Marshall, and so it just tells you that this team, Kennedy Boboye, is building one that can be independent. They don't have Olisanda, who is very, very good at the center of their defense. They don't have their top man in the Frank Effiong left the club. And now Charles Ashimene is in America for the Mexico friendly. So some other guys are there to step up to do the business, and they did just that. So Aqua United, they have the title to lose, if you ask me, because Kano Pillars, pressure will be on them now. Nasarawa United also need to get back winning. And before that loss to Katsina United, Aqua United should have looked the mean business by going 18 games unbeaten, and that's an MPFL record, So let's see. It's all in their hands now. 4-point lead at the top. For Dakada, what a story they are telling us. They recorded their 13th win of the season. Aqua United is top on the log. They've recorded 15th win, 15 victories this season. Dakada is 10th on the log. Yesterday, beating Kwara United was their 13th win of the season. And this is a team that only gained promotion to the league just before COVID-19 struck. So they're beginning to tell us a beautiful story. 2 weeks ago, they went to Abia Warriors to get an away win. That was their third win of the season. So the Nigeria Professional Football League this season has been nothing but competitive. And that's the free kick, the first goal scored by Aqua United. So, Olumide, if you look at it now, it's about who wants it more. Talking about the league title that can go all the way to get it. And it's between Kano Pillars, between Nasarawa United. Put Aimba also in that mix. They're 5th on the log and not also far from the top. Rangers can also, push for the league title. So it's going to be one that would definitely go down the wire.
Well, let's see how that plays out. For Tolulope in the studio with us, what was your impression?
Well, yeah, for me, it's been a week of, scintillating football in the NPFL. We've seen our teams, coming from behind, to skate through and get a win at the end of the day. And for me, Aqua United, I think they are really, of course, doing very well. Topping, the log of the NPFL, is good for them as well, and it boosts the morale of the players. Of course, just 8 matches to the end of the season. So now, so
as Austin says, you think it's going to go down to the wire?
Yeah, of course it's going to go down to the wire, but we have to watch out for the likes of Kano Pillars, of course, and Enyimba International, because I call them a serial winners. Of course, as far as football is concerned in Nigeria, they look good for football. So I think just 4 points separate Aqua United from Kano Pillars, and of course 6 points from Enyimba International of Aba. So, but of course, if they want to keep the momentum going, so they have to be focused. Now they have to have the self-belief and determination that after all they can do it. Of course, it's a game of football, so it involves 11 players on the field, so 22 in all, so they can do it. They have to be focused, and I think this is the most crucial time of the season. Of course, when the season is is climaxing gradually. Of course, every team must be fully focused at the end of the day to get something out of the league, because when you lose a game now, automatically you might find yourself, of course, outside the top 4, and now MPFL, the trophy is one. The continental ticket is another thing. Of course, this club are fighting for. So for Aqua United, to be topping the league, we should give kudos to Kennedy Boboye for doing a brilliant job, of course, in the team. So because I think they are one of the best managed clubs in the MPFL.
So if they just keep focused, if they just keep doing their thing, if they keep being professional.
Yeah, and on the part of the coach as well. So technically and tactically, of course, he must dig deep, to make sure that he gets his tactics and techniques right. When of course they match out to the field.
And hopefully no injuries as well.
Of course, because injury plays a big part, of course, in determining the outcome of the game. But without injury, of course, and the couple of the players they have in camp now, so I think they should work on the players players they have present in camp, not minding the fact that some of the boys are out there in US, of course, a national assignment, but the ones they have in camp, they should work on the ones they have in camp to make sure they get the desired result, which of course at the end of the day may determine how they finish the season at the end of the NPFL, of course. But I think the other club side, of course, MFM, of course, are also trying, to get into the top 4 circuit. Because now
you think it'll be too little, too late?
Of course, it might not be too late for MFM because 8 matches, of course, to go before the season climax. But let's see, they can win 5 games in a row, but that will be difficult.
Let's see some of the matches that are going to be played in the 2020-2021 NPFL season in Nigeria. Match day 31 fixtures. And Austin, I want you to just get in the saddle and walk us through these matches and what you see happening between these teams, such as Enyimba versus Rivers United, Plateau United versus Akwa United. You've told us to watch out for them. Nasarawa United as well versus Jigawa GS. Katsina United versus FC Fanyuba, as well as Adamawa United versus MFM FC. So, and then we also have matches that are going to be played to include Kanu Pillars versus Lobby Stars. Heartland FC will take on Sunshine Stars. And the Kada FC, which we've been told are a team to look out for, are going to play Wiki Torres. Kwara United will play Rangers United. And Warri Wolves will play Abia Warriors. Austin, you were talking about the Kada FC. And what do you think? What's your view of this next fixture and all the other fixtures that we've just called out?
I think match day 31 would define a lot of things in the Nigeria Professional Football League, particularly for those teams with ambition to win the league title. One of them, Akwa United, they will be taking on Enyimba. Enyimba on match day 30, I think they blinked, for some reasons that only them can explain. They almost lost to Warri Wolves at the Aba International Stadium. It took Austin Oladakwa to score a lead goal for them to get a point. That match ended 1-1. So against Rivers United, they must be ready to be at the top of their game. Well, to some people, anybody know how to beat Rivers United, but not what we've seen in the league this season. Rivers United beaming with confidence after coming off a sweet 3-1 win over Plateau United on match day 30. So I'm ready to say contest in that one. Plateau United also is one team that it's been a topsy-turvy ride for them, because I think that team has got a lot of quality. They've got an intelligent coach in Abdul Maikaba, but somehow they're not getting the result that they want this season. And coming off that loss to Rivers United at the New Just Stadium, they would want to, jump up to do something good against Akwa United, who is in fine form. But Akwa, they'll be fighting not to lose. If they pick a point from that one, it will be very good for their league title ambitions. Nasarawa United needs to get back to winning ways. The second of the log, tied on 52 points with Kano Pillars. So if they beat Jigawa Golden Stars, they put themselves back into the race for the league title. Now let's go to Kano Pillars against Lobby Stars. Kano Pillars, I thought they could have gotten something from MFM, but they didn't. They lost that match 2-1. Now they have a chance to redeem themselves against Lobby Stars. They've not lost a game since they moved to the Ahmadu Bello Stadium in Kaduna. They've only drawn twice against Rangers International and Akwa United. So definitely they are favorites to win against Lobby Stars. But hey, it's football. Anything can happen. Lobby Stars in fine form after winning their last game in the NPFL. Kwara United also is a team with good home dominance. They've not lost at the Ilorin Stadium. They will be hosting Rangers. So Rangers need to have that at the back of their mind as they go to Ilorin to take on Kwara United, who have also been a good team this season. My surprise package of the season. So this is the NPFL where anything can happen. And I agree that even with Akwa United's 4 points a lead at the top, if they blink, they will be asking themselves questions, Olumide.
Austin, there's a movie, an old war movie called The Eagles Have Landed. It was a World War II movie, and it had to do with the Allies and the Axis, the Germans, the Japanese, the English, the Americans. In this case, our own Super Eagles have landed in America.
Beautiful. And I love the fact that it is players from the Nigeria Professional Football League. Olumide, we said it that when this team was called up, that it's a good way to promote the league. It's a good way to give exposure to our league players. Some of them already have it, but knowing that you're playing with guys from the same league, they go to United States of America, they play Mexico, it will do a lot to their experience. It will do a lot to the exposure and the development of the Nigeria Professional Football League. So we're hoping that Saturday, United States, Sunday early morning, 4 a.m. on Sunday, Nigeria, the Super Eagles, which is made up of teams from the Nigeria Professional Football League, will take on Mexico in an international friendly. I'm really hoping and rooting for this team to go on to win, because I know if they win, it will do so much good to the careers as league players in Nigeria, and of course give more exposure to the Nigeria Professional Football League. And that's what we're talking about, that we need to do all we can to brand the league in a way that internationally to gain some respect, to operate with international standards. So I'm rooting for Nigeria.
Club football.
I'm a full-blown Nigerian.
Yes, you are. The last time I checked, you are. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back for more on the international friendly between the Super Eagles and Mexico in the United States and other stories. Stay with us. Thank you for staying with us on sports this morning. Now we're turning our attention to the Euro 2020 tournament. And if you're watching football and you don't know it's happening, then you're not watching football, because lined up is Spain versus Switzerland and Belgium versus Italy, a match that a lot of people are talking about as being probably the most competitive amongst all the teams that are representing their countries. For Belgium captain Eden Hazard and the playmaker Kevin De Bruyne, they're still doubtful for that match against Italy, according to their coach Roberto Martinez. Now, he says it's because of an injury that De Bruyne suffered on his part, on his ankle, and Hazard is no stranger to suffering injuries. He has also now pulled a hamstring and has not trained this week, including on Thursday morning before the team flew to Germany. Now, Roberto Martinez said a few things. He says that, and I'm going to quote him, he says, "We are the best two teams statistically at the tournament. Two teams that have each won a record 14 games in a row in the European Championships." And it says that it's a shame we have to face each other in the quarterfinal. But it's the quality of the tournament, I suppose, and we need to be ready for it. There are not a lot of secrets. Both sides look like club teams, and tomorrow's game is going to be decided by small details. I think he also means small margins. Tolulokwe Atobatile is with us in the studio still. You heard the coach, and it looks more like a final if you assess the performance of all the teams that are remaining. So that's why he was saying probably that, that he wished they didn't have to face each other in the quarterfinals.
Well, quite a pity that one of them just have to go out at this stage, because even initially, I was anticipating Belgium and Italy, of course, in final, but now I think, of course, the dream is not going to be realized, because one of them must exit the tournament at this level. Both the most prepared team, of course, will surely win the game at the end of the day, because it's a football. Sometimes
you don't think they'll be equally prepared?
I think they can't be equally prepared, because they are too
different. Or will it be more a case of tactics and strategy as opposed to preparation? Because I don't see either team giving leeway to the other.
Exactly, because this game will be determined, of course, by whoever get the tactics right, of course, because looking at the two teams, statistically, as Martinez says, they are the two best European team in this competition, having, of course, Ghana, and the same number of matches, of course, won in European football, and for two of them, two will be meeting at this level you that one of the two more, of course, the best team among the two teams will surely win at the end of 90 minutes, because as I said, the football sometimes it makes you happy, and sometimes it makes you start depending on the outcome of every football game. But looking at the Belgian team, they are a compact team, of course, with much flexibility in their play, the way they passes the ball around and move the ball. They move swiftly, and of course, Kevin De Bruyne and Eden Hazard, two of their best players, of course, yet to be passed, medically, for this game. I think for me, at the end of the day, we see both of them, of course, in action. When the time, when it's time, to take on the.
Isn't that up to the doctors?
Yeah, it is
because they're saying that there's a serious issue.
It is up to the doctors.
What's his name? Couldn't even train. Matter of fact, that is Hazard. He couldn't even train with the team.
Yeah, just as you said, Hazard is not a stranger.
He has not trained this week, as a matter of fact, at all. He's not trained with the team at all.
Yes, Hazard is not strained, to injuries, just as you mentioned earlier on. But for Kevin De Bruyne, of course, before the start of the competition, I think he didn't play the first game for Belgium due to the injury. He suffered in the Champions League final against Chelsea. But now,
okay, let's bring in Austin now. Austin. Switzerland versus Spain. Do you think Switzerland will repeat their feat against France, against Spain? And for the Belgium-Italy match, the injuries suffered by the Belgium team, how big of a factor do you think that will be in trying to get a win?
A big factor. I'm knowing that Hazard is the one with all of the work rate and some level of creativity in that Belgian team. Scored the last goal, and that took them to where they are at the moment against when they defeated Portugal. But this is football, and Roberto Martinez will find a way to turn things around. Belgium is one thing that at the start of this competition I said I was looking forward to seeing what they will do, but it's so unfortunate that they will get to play Italy, a team that is also on good form. We're going 31 games unbeaten now, a new national record. We have a game in our hands, Olumide, and I really don't know why football does this to us. Not now. It shouldn't have been Belgium, Italy, but the Italians, they must watch it. They weren't fantastic against Austria, but they were just effective in it to do what they had to do to advance, and they did it. Got 2 goals in extra time. Now they have Belgium. So let's see what football will give to us, whether there's De Bruyne or there's Hazard. The Belgian team is packed with a lot of quality players, and so it's just a change of tactics, and they will get their groove on. But for the other game between Switzerland, we need to do a lot. Haris Seferovic was on fine form against France, scoring a brace and then, pushing all the way. Even Xhaka did his beats. But in the quarterfinal stage, Olumide, it's a different ball game in football. So let's see. I think it's going to be tight as usual. All the games we've seen in the Euros this season, they've been really, really tight. But I really think that it will boil down to who wants it more in that game between Switzerland and Spain. Spain, you could tell, also struggled against Croatia. Lost it when they shouldn't have lost it in regulation time. Needed extra time to see off Croatia. But hey, that's football. Croatia also wasn't pushed over. So Spain, Switzerland, I think we'll see goals also. But at the end of the day, it boils down to who wants it most that's going to get it and who can make good use of the midfield. And I think Switzerland with Xhaka and the guys are beginning to see some need to, get effective in that middle. So Spain must really be effective. Not all of those ones that Morata will get 10 chances and score 1. They must be effective against Switzerland.
Okay, Austin, let's see how that plays out as well. We're going to have to let you go, but you keep saying, is football a person? Austin, because you keep saying that. You keep saying if football didn't like it, football was having a bad day, football did not do this or that.
Yeah. Football is a being that we cannot see. It's crazy.
I was complimenting you. You didn't hear me. I was complimenting you on your jacket. I said, nice color. You didn't hear me earlier. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for your analysis. Our correspondent, Austin Okolankwan in the UK on sports this morning. Now, back in the studios with Tolu Lokwe, Atobatele. Finally from you, You know, okay, so Belgium versus Italy, you spoke about Belgium. Spain versus Switzerland, as your parting shot, would you favor Spain? Will you go in the way of Switzerland? You know, you want to, is it a Zurich thing? You can imagine the way the Swiss nationals are behind their team now. Switzerland's not a team known to go far in international competitions for football. But now they have a real fighting chance.
Yeah, I am not putting my money on, of course, on either of the team because, Spain, of course, have become so ruthless, in the last 2 matches, the way, they got their goals, and of course, and the way they move the ball around. So, they've been brilliant, of course, and we all know, what Spain, of course, are capable of doing anytime, any day. But for Switzerland, I think, they've just been modest, of course, with their style of play. So, and the team play, the team play for themselves. So, I think, they are doing quite well. So, but for Haris Severovic and of course and the other guys, I think they just need to to be more determined because coming up against La Furia Royals, it won't be of course an easy game for them. This will be a different game to the ones they have played since the tournament begins. But for me, they just need to to be focused and of course look at what of course to come in at the end of the 90 minute. But one thing I am sure of is the two sides, of course, we're going to treat us to the beauties of the beautiful game of football that we see best game in display when the two teams, of course, get onto the pitch later this night. But better team, will surely
may the
win.
best man win at the end of the day. For the coach of Italy, Roberto Mancini, he's not going to be drawn into the he said, she said, I'm a better coach than you. He says that Italy will play their own game.
Of course, Italy will play their own game, and Belgium will also play their own game.
Thank you so much, sports journalist and analyst Tolokwe Atobatele, and thank you for being with us on Sports This Morning, this Friday. I'm Olumide Macaulay. Have a great weekend. Sisi and Ty will be back soon. See you next time.